Good morning. Thanks a lot for the invitation. I will present how MSF is using GIS to support its operations. MSF as an organization was founded in 1971 and is an international independent medical humanitarian organization providing emergency aid. MSF is providing assistance to people based on need, irrespective of race, religion, gender, or political affiliation. At the moment, we have roughly 446 projects in around 71 countries. And if I say roughly, because it's changing constantly, we have 5 operational centers who are running the projects in the various countries. These operational centers are based in Amsterdam, Brussels, Barcelona, Geneva, and Paris. We have 24 associations and, of course, MSF International. At the time, we have roughly 38,500 staff, and from this, it's 35,000 roughly field positions and around 3,300 headquarter staff. The needs on the ground are central on the information we need more information on our patients. So we need to know the population numbers. We have to know how many people are living in a given area, project area. How many settlements are there? What type of settlements? It's a big difference if it's a IDP camp, or if it's an informal camp, or if it's a refugee camp, or if it's a little villages or towns. We need information on infrastructure, are there health facilities, hospitals, markets, water sources, whatever is there as infrastructure. We need to know the distance, for example, for water sources, for health facilities. Information on topography, drainage patterns, access, can we reach the patients, can we reach the population, are there any specific diseases there, and if so, the disease patterns, and linked to disease patterns, very often it's land use and land change. So very often MSF is working in places where there's a lack of information on population. Very often it looks like in the pictures in the camps. So that's a picture of Kutupalong camp, a tiny little part of Kutupalong camp, which was more than 100,000 dwellings, and it changed rapidly. So it was extremely important to get information on the number of dwellings at any given time, because this is needed to plan our interventions, to know how much aid do people need, how many health and clinics, for example, we have to provide, and so on. So how can GIS support operations? What can we offer as a GIS unit? We can offer human resources for deployment. So this means that the colleagues in projects are traveling or are requesting that GIS specialists are in the project to help producing maps, to help with data visualization, to get maps from base maps to analysis of areas where there was no maps existing prior to this intervention. To support projects, we also offer remote sensing analysis. This is mainly done via our colleagues from the University of Salzburg. We do provide help in GeoWeb development, so we do visualize epidata. You can have them dashboards or web apps. We support data collection, data management, and of course training of colleagues and coordination. As an example, we have a look on the support provided to the Ebola intervention in the DRC in 2018 to 2019. And again, in the center of all our support was the question, where are our patients? If we don't know where the patients are, we can't do a plan, we can't set up health posts, we can't set up screenings. So GIS played a vital role in providing information on Ebola case origins, logistical information, how do we get there, are the roads there, villages, where are villages? There are health zones, and also how to get best to these places, to the villages. And of course, another very essential part was to provide accurate maps of Ebola cases and how to reach them. So weekly updates were provided and done using all the epi data collected in the projects. That's one of our colleagues who worked in DRC producing maps and analysis, and of course people using the maps. Another vital information displayed on maps was security incidents. It's not always very easy to work in Ebola projects, so very often, more frequently, there are security incidents, and that's vital information for the teams. They have to know where have been security incidents, where have people been arrested, where have been road violence, whatever. And also another vital information displayed on maps is the follow-up on MSF activities. We have to know at a glance on a map where are the health centers, where are the treatment centers, and so on. Otherwise, it's very difficult to plan in a large area like the DRC. One tool which is under development will be a tool to provide a dynamic mapping tool in areas where there is no internet. Very frequently we have the challenge that there is no stable or only very limited internet connection. So we are developing this tool that our colleagues can work and display all the data they collect in the field on an offline tool to be used and with Epi, WhatsApp, water sanitation, but also with all the colleagues in the field just to show how disease patterns are evolving and what's changing, to see if the intervention is successful. And for all projects, every employee of MSF has access to the map center, an MSF map. So the map center is, as we call it, the one-stop shop for all GIS products. So you can search there for existing maps, for existing analysis. You can have a look at the geo apps. You can find information. You can find tutorials. But you can also request maps and analyses which are then tailor-made for your needs, for the very specific needs. So we do see here a screenshot of the map center. And the second thing people can use via the map center is the MSF map tool. And in this case, we're focusing on where is MSF. We don't focus on where are the patients, we focus on where is MSF. And this tool is meant to help projects understand their environment better. So you can collect data and you can display all the data you collect from the area on the layers of this tool. You can add data, but you can also just see where are colleagues, where are other projects, and so on. And with this, we want people to actively use more and more geographic data just to support and understand their working environment better. So that's a very, very brief introduction to GIS at MSF. Thanks a lot for your interest, and if there are questions, I'm open to answer.